Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and good night. How are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you. Welcome in our first free lecture on our course, Financial Management of Projects and Contracts. We started a series from a long time ago in project management and contracts. We are trying to deliver as much knowledge as we can to our colleagues. And this session or seminar is one of the series we have started earlier. Today we are talking about financial management of project and contracts. And actually today the lecture will be delivered totally in English because we've got a lot of requests to start the course with English language because big chunk of our followers is speaking or non-Arabic speakers, and even the Arabic speakers who is working in the Gulf area or with international companies requests the course to be in English to develop their business skills or business language. So we are trying to deliver the knowledge with this language. So I hope everyone today will enjoy and will be able to follow up with us. We need to talk about the financial management and what is the benefit from attending a course like this. So let me share the screen first. First of all, we need to answer a question. The course is delivered to whom or who should attend? Every engineer or accountant who is working in project management should attend those courses, starting from project directors till site engineer, including project management, project manager, cost planning, risk, contracts engineers. They should attend this. At the end, every project is delivered for a profit, even for the contractor or the employer, and also for the engineer. So if you weren't able to analyze or understand the benefits or the financial management of the project, you will lead your company, whether you are in a contractor or engineer or employer, to failure. And no one is doing the project for the sake of God only, unless it's a charity or something. And whether it's a charity, you have to financially drive it good or deliver it with a financial capacity. So the project is not losing the interest or losing profit. So the first step to understand how the financial management over the project is to attend course like for let's say for example as you if you are a contractor and you are bidding on a project or estimating a project in the tender phase, you will have to make the breakdown and analyzing the estimation and analyzing the quantities and all the stuff we need. But the question is the project gonna be feasible for the contractor? Is it gonna lead to a profit, or it's gonna lead to a total loss? Of course, we all heard about contractors that entered some type of project, and at the end, the project was a disaster for the company. It turned out to be a disaster regardless or regarding they were dreaming to catch or get this project in their portfolio. Why? The first thing is the bad financial management, which might start with bad estimation or bad estimation for the cash flow itself. So the project might be profitable on theoretical approach, but from the financial aspect or from financial point of view, regarding the cash flow, there is a huge negative cash flow regarding the payments and delayed payments and the advanced payment. So at the end, you will lead to not able to continue the project, or you have to take loans from the bank with high interest rate, which shrink all the profit might come from executing this. For the sake of the employer, of course, there must be feasibility studies done before starting the project, and you have to know the break-even analysis and the cost of the project, and whether it's we should do it or not. Even the fragmentation of the packages, or submitting or breaking down the packages of the project to multiple contractors has its aspect from the financial point of view. Let me give you an example. If you have like a mega project, or a project like, let's say, for billions, and you decided to deliver this project to small contractors, sorry, not a first class contractor, to reduce the cost. Imagining that you are reducing the cost by splitting the packages to multiple contractors, which is having low overheads and profit, so you can deliver the project with the low cost. You might find this turned out to be a disaster because the contractor is not qualified. So understanding, or the deep understanding of the financial aspect of the project, is very crucial. Let me say, like for an instance, when I started working with PB, that was my like strongest part, working on a cost control, and I was learning this from engineer Fawzi Harraz. There is like some concept of contingency reserve that you have, like if you are the employer and you are estimating the project will be finished with a budget $100 million. So you have to add an extra reserve for whatever circumstances you might have. So if you don't have this, this will lead to a disaster also. So there is a lot of examples regarding the financial management of the projects, and this is the first step to understand the financial management of the whole company. Because if you are a contractor or you are an employer, you have a portfolio of projects. So understanding the financial of the company starts with understanding the financial of the project, and multiplies it to multiple projects, then see the full picture. So I don't want to waste your time in the introduction. Let's start with the course and introduction about our instructor today, Engineer Fawzi Harraz. So the benefits of the course: enhance the financial and commercial knowledge, acquire the skills of selecting and screening and ranking between alternatives for project and company business opportunities execution, build a sound base of decision making based on financial and commercial criteria and judgment. Course outlines the fundamentals of finance, contract profitability and pricing, asset financial management, key financial management issues, decision support functions to financial management. Every outline of this has a breakdown. If I went to those breakdowns, I might absorb a lot of duration from the lecture. I will leave this to our instructor today, Engineer Fawzi Harraz. Let's start with the introduction regarding Engineer Fawzi. Engineer Fawzi is a marine engineering and naval architectural, June 1975, chartered engineer, member of Institution of Marine Engineering, Science and Technology, and member of AACE. Key training experience: project development planning at the Furat Oil Company in Damascus, 1995, project controls at Petrobel, 1995, earned value management, 2013, and 2017 there were a project cost management, certified contract management. 2014 and 15 project planning, scheduling, project technical and economical evaluation in Kuala Lumpur. And 2018 and 2007 in Libya, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Istanbul, Cairo, Damascus, Libya, and Sudan, and a lot of courses worldwide. So we are talking about international experience, not only a national or local experience. Engineer Fawzi work experience: the last position was a project controls manager at Ethitco petrochemical plant, and with a lot of companies worldwide, like Kajakan project in Agib, KCO, ABB oil and gas company, INI affiliate in Egypt in Petrobel, Za'farana Swiss oil company, Petromint or Petromine KSA, and a lot of companies that has to be studied to finalize the good resume for Engineer Fawzi Haraz. So I'm leaving the mic now with Engineer Fawzi Haraz for everyone. And if you are interested to join the course or subscribe with us, I will leave the comments in the chat while Engineer Fawzi is delivering the course. Engineer Fawzi, you can take place.
أشكرك يا باشمهندس على المقدمة دي، أشكرك. طيب، okay. I'll start sharing my PowerPoint file. This one. Okay. First, I would like actually on this session to try a bit to know each other. I see quite a big number of attendees. Possibly some of them will continue with us on the course. I see on the top list Christine Baki, then Muammar Ahmed, Adam Al-Jabouri, Magdi Rajab, Amal Ilshal, Fawzi Mujahid, Murad Gorman, Noor Abu Qasim, Yusuf Fawzi Rakha, Osama Tabash, Mustafa Umran, Nasruddin Ahmed, Hussein Selmi, Qutb Ali, Safwan Haddad, Muhammad Abdul Hafiz, Muhammad Abdullah, Muhammad Safwat, Muhammad Anas, Hatoum, as I read it, Riham Kashmiri, then Heba Gamal, Bakri Sayyid, Ahmad Faid, Hazim Al-Utaybi, Muhammad Abdul Jabbar, Yasir Al-Sadi, Karam Muhammad, Farid Shakir, Erin Nasri, Ahmad Abdul Majid, Suha Shafiq, Abdul Rahman Salim, Qasi Yusuf, Manar El Sayed, Qutb Ali, Vinod Jadhav. Okay. So this is the list that I came down through. My name is Fawzi Haraz, your instructor on this course. As Muhammad Hussein, my colleague, introduced me. I'm originally a marine engineer and naval architect back in 1972, but I have diversified career in shipbuilding, marine engineering, contracting, and then lately around the project management, cost engineering, contracting, risk management, in mainly in oil and gas, power and utilities industries. Of course, I'm retired and I enjoy actually doing these courses to deliver some of my background lessons learned to my young colleague. Okay. Briefly, the way I deliver the courses focus on 6 mission topics. Value driven. I believe that people wasting their time and paying some money should receive in payback some value from the course. We should expect that some additional information or new lessons or any guidance to get during the course. Interactive dialogue. This is very important for me, please. I always encourage and invite attendees to raise suggestions, raise questions. I don't want to be delivering on a monologue style, just me speaking and everyone passing any material that I deliver. I would like actually to have some interaction, some questions, clarifications, suggestions, anything that make the course more value. In some cases, actually, I received some comments that I learned from, as this is not really a classroom session, it's a professional workshop. Many of you have their own experiences and they can feedback me some of their experiences. Nobody is an all catalog of the session. We complement each other on the material that we are presenting. Flexible to participants' specific needs. I try, definitely we come from different industries and we try to meet any specific requirements or special project types or company activities. Pragmatic, we try to make it suitable or suiting or meeting modern trends, modern industry trends. Industry driven, as I said, I mean, this topic actually is focused on the course, actually is given to a company, a specific company, whether it's in power, whether it's in oil and gas or construction industry. And always stress that these courses are not supposed to make you a master, but it's just on the building block you are upgrading your skills and capabilities. By the way, let me correct the introduction. My colleague Mohammed says financial management of projects and contracts. Projects and contracts are almost the same. It's projects and companies. A project is a project. Many of us actually are working on projects, but the part of the course, a good part of the course addresses company financial management. Company, I mean like a company manufacturing home appliances, refrigerators, stoves or something, garments, company providing services like transportation or logistics. These are running companies. Companies treating and trading or refining oils, these are companies. They have different aspects of monitoring their business and deciding on how to improve their businesses during the course. The mission, why you are here, financial management projects and companies. Key answers or key questions to answers include what is the current status of the business, the company or the project. What the current status? What is the targets? What's my ultimate target of the business? How to achieve the target? That includes making some decisions and taking some actions. The information needed, which covers data collection and analysis process, how to sustain performance, stay focused through close monitoring. Financial management, sometimes some of us may mix it with cost management and both handle money, but the perspectives are somehow different, not the same. What are the predefined objectives? Profits, some will come to some objectives later on specific, but key objectives include profits, payback, something. What are the expected end results? The expected end results generally is to stay in business and make growth. Whether this applies to a company or to a project business. What are the tools and approaches? This talks about analysis, decisions, and actions. Now, some basic questions. What is management? What is cost management? What's financial management? are both the same or there are some differences, knowledge needed for each function. Let's try to answer some of the following basic questions. What is management? Management simply is achieving targets. A manager is not a manager unless he is working to certain targets that is driving the organization or running his team, managing his team to achieve these targets. Changing positions, improving results. Position of a project or a position of a company in the market and improving the performance results. Handling problems and crises to a safe position. That is management. Always facing problems and addressing crises, going out from the critical states to a better, stable state. Cost management, briefly, identifying source information. When we are doing cost management, we need to decide which information do we need to be effective in cost management. Setting, updating the cost target for a project would be actually how much profit we get out of the project at the end, at the close out. For a company, actually, is deciding what is the annual profits, what is the dividends, what is the money that we paid back to the loans on the banks. These are the targets. Supporting decision-making related to cost-related issues. That's cost management. Actually, value is to support the decision. The decision should be information-based. Guiding cost performance to match the target or to support the target. Documenting cost performance and recording continued learning. Now, next, what is the financial management? It includes most of the previous topics, plus including the time value of money aspects. This is actually very specific in the financial management, the time value of money. You'll keep hearing this expression throughout the course. Cost management say the figures just as figures, but financial management say this figure is now, next year, or 5 years, on 5 years' time. Each time decides the value of the money. Just specifically, $100 million today is not 100 million in 1 year, and definitely is not 100 million in 5 years. With the inflation, 100 million this year could be 90 million next year and could be 70 million in 5 years' time, depending on the annual inflation. So this is the key difference between financial management and cost management. It includes the impact of the time dimension on the money. Setting the economic criteria for business. How much is the growth? How much is the profit? How much is the loans to be paid back to the lenders? Modeling the business scenario. Modeling the business scenario is making the mathematical shape that we can use for calculating the criteria, including the various elements that shape these criteria or shape the end results. Identifying the driving parameters. Driving parameters, such as, for example, the interest rates and the cash flow payments. These are driving parameters. For the projects, actually, the advance payment is one key driving parameter. The payment terms, are we paid in 4 weeks' times or 6 weeks' times or longer? Identifying and managing break-even limits. break-even is very, very important to know when is the business not making profit and not making losses. This is the break-even, and it has to be carefully calculated, because if the calculation is wrong, you might be making losses. But due to the error in the calculations, it seems zero. Zero could be accepted, but definitely negative results are not acceptable to follow the business with. So the break-even analysis and the sensitivity of the model to various parameters that define the break-even analysis, and how we can go positively away from the break-even point to the positive side of the business. Running sensitivity analysis, seeing what if this interest rate increases, what if this value of the contract increases. These are sensitivity analyses. There are many other examples to follow. Application of various cost, planning, risk management tools in modeling and evaluation. Of course, risks are very essential driving parameter for success or failure of the business, and this is a detailed topic that is worth detailed investigation. Financing management. Financing, sometimes some projects have a negative cash flow, and they may need to have external financing until the cash flow becomes zero and positive. Companies also may face situations where they need some loans or any financing arrangement support the business stay under competitive market conditions in financing and financial management. Is the communication okay? I just received some concern about the communication. Someone in the chat say okay. Someone say it's okay. Any feedback? Okay, no complaints. Assume everything is fine. Okay. Thank you. Good. Are both the same? I mean, cost management and financial management. There are some key differences. Financial management need cost management support, not vice versa. Normally, cost management can support financial management, but not the other way. Financial management is an executive role. Executive means the big people, the top management actually make decisions. Cost management is a management role, not an executive management, but the middle management role. They advise and they can make some decisions, but to a lower level of authority. Knowledge and skill needed for each function. All functions need business knowledge and awareness. It's better actually that we know what are we doing. Are we doing a construction contract? Are we doing household manufacturing, transportation or logistics? We need to know the business, because the model depends on the business we are running. Both need strong communication and presentation. Communication, actually, to make your information as complete as possible, you need to talk to many people along the project environment or along the company departments. You need strong communication to share your thoughts and share your results and improve it as much as possible based on other people in the team, experience of other people in the team. And presentation, actually, should be able to make clear messages based on the analysis and data that you have collected. to buy out, to convince other people about your proposal. Otherwise, it's not a proposal until other people are convinced that they can consider. So that's the importance of presentation skills. Both need trade-off analysis. Trade-off analysis means some parameters can improve at the expense of other parameters. This is a trade-off. On the project and contracts, you are all aware that the most common cost schedule trade-off, which says if you want to improve the schedule, you need to pay some more money. And if you want to save money, you need to avoid a tight schedule or fast track schedule because they need more money. So this is the trade-off. Balancing various parameters, increasing one, reducing the others. Financial management need more economic background and skills. Economic actually is based on the time value aspects, and we'll see that later on. Our mission statement actually try to do the following tasks. Apply optimum services with pricing to ensure winning and delivering profitable projects. With pricing, actually, most of us working on the projects is a key task, key challenge. The point is that you need to win the bid, be the successful bidder. On the other hand, you should not take a tight price with limited marginal profit and limited risk coverage, because you're not actually taking good business. You are taking sick business. Let's say you're taking bad businesses. So we should not be happy to take big projects where the profits and are limited, because sometimes this business may turn a loss. So that's the best competitive price to take the job. Competitive is important, especially if you are in a bidding process, not a direct order. Proper planning and cost estimation of projects to support rational decision making. Of course, the plan and the cash flow and the costs actually are very important information that drive the decisions. By the way, you know that if you are a contractor, you should try to make upfront cash flow. On the other hand, the owner is keen to consider that the cash flow is reasonable for him for financing requirements. So it's a conflict between the way you view it as a contractor or as an owner. Validating the profitability of the proposed project. Checking, actually, ensuring that the proposed project is profitable, actually. Definitely that includes what is the best markup that we can get the project for. Putting right contract terms and conditions, T&Cs, for a winning project business. I think just shortly ago, we mentioned the model of including advance payment. Is it 10% or 20%? The payment, is it 4 weeks or 6 weeks or more? So these are the terms and conditions. By the way, there is a complete list of acronyms, abbreviations like this shortly coming at the beginning of the course. So it's not just the cost estimate or bid price, it's actually the contracting terms and conditions. Ensuring proper flow of cash into the project or the firm. Proper cash flow means adequate amounts to cover the costs in the right times. That is a proper cash flow. and that should be clear from the project or business or company model. Control management of potential risks and required mitigation methods. Risks, when they come, actually, they take a lot of costs to control, and may even extreme risks can lead to failure in the project or in the company business. Understand the basics of economics, NPV, net present value, IRR, which is the internal rate of return, DCF, discounted cash flow, costs, revenues, payback periods, and profitability. Applying these criteria to investment proposals evaluations. For any evaluation, we need to see what is the NPV, what is the IRR, what is the discounted cash flow, how much are the costs, revenues, and the payback period and profitability. Continued performance monitoring of the project and taking recovery actions as and when needed. Documenting and sharing lessons at the project close out, wrap up values of the course, and plan a way forward. That will be given at the end of the course. At this stage, I would like to see if any of our colleagues have any questions. Any questions? Any proposals? Okay. By the way, we need to agree, okay, first on the timing of these lectures. In principle, they will be, today is the first lecture, Wednesday, and the next lecture will be next Wednesday, inshallah. Once we stabilize the course program and participants, final participants list, we may try to make 2 lectures per week to make it more live and dynamic. Many colleagues have complained that one lecture a week actually is not fast enough, and we forget typically. So this is the plan, and we'll talk to that maybe next lecture to see what will be the schedule of the lectures. But for sure, the next lecture will be next Wednesday. Here is the outline, just briefly going over it. Time value of money, discounted cash flow, direct and indirect costs, fixed, variable, and semi-variable costs, break-even analysis, contract profitability and pricing strategies and tactics, cost-based pricing, market-based pricing, value-based pricing. Key financial management issues include risk management, scenario and sensitivity management, earned value analysis, variance analysis, contract terms and conditions. Then the next module, cost schedule aspects of project financial management. Cost estimation, we'll address cost estimation. In summary, it's a complete course detail, but we'll have some reasonable coverage on this. Planning and scheduling, historical data and learning curves, relationship between cost estimating and pricing, using Excel to analyze historical data. Finally, the financial performance of companies. Overview of company financial management. We'll cover financial statements, financial ratios, cash flow management, inventory and equipment management, revenue recognition. When do we consider that we have got the revenue? So there is a way between the other party release, and the transfer is actually earned in the company records. Financing arrangement. Okay, these are the acronyms, the abbreviations. There's some of it. Maybe you can add some as we go through the discussions. Okay. Financial management is simply making certain analyses, data analysis, evaluation of investment proposals, making certain decisions to drive the business away from failure to success. It's either away from failure to success or from good to better positions. So both are considered. I mean, if you are away from failure, then you actually, as a management, try to get to a better position that includes the company and the business effectiveness. We have two main types of decisions to make. It's very important. Screening and ranking between various investment proposals. And this is a difficult one. You need to consider 3 or 4 alternatives. And then or using a scorecard point, you should say, this is the best option, this is the second, this is the third, and the management should make a decision to select. The other type of decision is a go, no-go decision. And this is more crucial, actually. When running a company, there are some decisions is whether can we make some oversizing or keep the size. Now, this is a go, no-go, which says is if you make this upsizing of the company, you can go insolvent, you can face problems. So you say, no, this decision to upsize the company or increase the size of the business is not to be done. This is a no-go decision. A go decision is to go for it once the analysis and the results support it and say it will lead to positive results. So if you have the best scenario from A up, we can go ahead with investment execution, or do we have to defer the investment? This is a no-go. Defer the investment to a later stage. This is a go, no-go decision. Think of these situations, whether you are on a project or a company business. On projects, actually, the owners, the contractor has limited say on ranking scenarios, but the owner may have various scenarios. For example, if the owner is running a hotel business and he wants to build a new hotel in some area, one option is to build 3 blocks of the hotel, say each one 1,000 bed. That's one option. The other option is to say, no, we'll start phasing, we'll start only 1 block with 1 bed, run it, start making revenues, and then expanding with the second block and the third block. This is doing the same project on 2 execution scenarios. One is a full scale and the other is a phased execution scenario, building part of the facilities and then increasing and increasing. For each one, there are pros and cons, there are benefits and demerits or disadvantages. This one needs heavy financing, while the other one actually limited financing, and then the facility will finance itself once the first phase is operational. there is a comparison between both scenarios, and the decision will be based on what is the result of each scenario. So approaches and stages of financial management process, selecting the decision criteria. I have to say, what will be the driving to go or not go for this? Will it be the net present value? Will it be the profit, the markup, the internal rate of payback period? Any of this, I should actually select these criteria from the beginning to start modeling and looking how to calculate these values. Data collection is the starting point of the analysis. Proposal, scenario modeling, building the plans, building the cost, cash flow, and so on. Estimation and forecasting, risk assessment, risk management, general assessment, and mitigation, what if analysis and sensitivities. It's very useful actually that the financial model of a project may be very interesting, very positive under an annual inflation rate of 6%. But if the inflation rate is 10%, the economics will go bad. So this is what if. Or borrowing money at 4% interest, the proposal may be positive. But if the interest rate is 6% or 8%, it will be negative. So this is the what if analysis. You see, what if this parameter changes from this value to this value or this value? This is the what if analysis. And sensitivity. Sensitivity is the end results sensitivity to certain parameters in the model. Handling borderline cases. As I mentioned before, you will build a model and then you will calculate the profit. Sometimes you have three cases. Negative profit, zero profit, positive profit. So apparently positive profit is okay, we go for it. And definitely negative profit is no, we don't go for it. Zero. This zero is the borderline between positive and negative results. And due to poor estimations or poor modeling or poor assumptions, this zero actually might be either positive or negative. So you need to revalidate this 0 point or break-even point actually to validate, is it really zero or is it positive or negative? This is one thing. On the other thing, you might need to consider what if some parameters change and run it, and you will see that the zero goes either positive or negative. So this is very important. Sometimes on the risk management, people aware about this. We have 3 zones for the risks: red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. On a certain risk issue, you might assess, and it comes on the borderline between red zone and yellow zone. So what will be the action? The red zone say we need immediate actions, immediate mitigation, because it's very serious. The yellow zone see some actions not urgent, but some actions needed. So if the point is on the borderline, you might need to recheck the assessment, and as a result, you'll find that it's on the yellow zone. So there's no worry, there is no big concern. We need action, yes, but There is no panic. There is no need for urgent or immediate actions. On the other side, if the re-evaluation of the risk move it to the red zone, yes, this needs immediate attention and immediate urgent actions. So the borderline cases are very important. Making the final decision, implementing the decisions as a plan of actions. So these are the various stages of the financial management process, ending with making the decision and implementing the decision. Here's some of the decision-making criteria. For example, for a contractor perspective, the decision criteria include markup percentage of the base cost. Can I add 15%, 20%, or 25% as a markup? This is a key decision for the management of contractor management, contracting company management to decide. Many management, depending on the market conditions, say, I'm not going to take a job with markup less than 20%. Why? Say because there's lots of risks and taxation and all these costs, indirect costs, overheads. So this is a threshold, a limit actually to go into the business. Then, okay, if we get the base cost from the estimation and top up with 20%, this will be our price. And it appears that it's not competitive. We know that other people invited in this contract have a better chance to use lower markup and offer a better price. In this case, so the management actually will abandon going into this bid. So the markup is a key factor for the key decision making. Cash flow pattern. This includes having a negative cash flow, which needs financing arrangement, actually. Most of you work on the projects. If the project has no advance payment or very small advance payment, the early period of the project, the first 4-6 months of the project, will be a negative cash flow because the contractors start spending and then recovering the invoices after 2 months or 3 months. So this is typical, the negative cash flow in the beginning. So the management will be asking the terms and conditions, the payment terms and conditions, the cost estimation. Will it subject the project to a negative cash flow period? That means that we will need some financing needs, some financing arrangement. Then the management actually may go away from it. They don't like to go and get some loans from here or there to finance this negative cash flow. So this is a decision criteria, cash flow pattern. Net present value of the markup. The markup simply means if you have a project that you got a bid for $500 million, you want the project worth $500 million, and your cost estimation team say the cost is $400 million. The markup is simply $100 million. $400 million cost, $500 million price. The difference is $100 million. That is the markup. This markup value is for today, but actually you will not get this difference today. You will get it only when you complete the project. You will build up every month. You spend some money and get an invoice with 20% more markup. And the complete markup, you will get it if the project is 3 years schedule, you will get it at the end of the 3 years. So you will be collecting this million over 3-year period. Considering the time value of money, it will not actually be 100. It can be 90 million, or it can be 80 million, or something like that. That depends on the amounts on various cash installments and the inflation rates. And the inflation rates, as you say, the pound today is 0.9 pound after 1 year, and so on. It goes down. That's due to discounting, affected by the time value of money. So the net present value should be, the markup should actually be considered as a decision. Sometimes the value is not as it looks from the beginning when you say it's 500 million and cost is 400 million, which means 100 million. It's not 100 million, it's something less due to the time value of money. That's from the contractor perspective. From the owner perspective, the cash flow pattern and the financing needs. The contractor takes money that the owner provides, and the owner must have a financing source this money. Well, if it is an oil and gas company, they sell oil and gas and they have good financing capability. But if it is a hotel running company, they're building a new hotel, they have already some existing hotels. The revenues of these hotels are essentially the financing source. If these running revenues are not enough, then the owner of the hotel company will have to go to banks for some loan. And that loan actually has some burdens on the business because you take it under certain terms of interest. So this item for the owner is very important. Can I finance the project totally from my internal revenue, or do I need to go for outside financing and pay some burdens on the loans that I get? Another criteria is the payback period. This investment will pay back after 3 years, after 7 years, or after 10 years. Normally, the owners do not prefer long payback periods because the risks and forecasting, are quite vague. They can be good assumptions within short-term period, say 3-4 years, but after 5 years, you don't know what will be happening on the market. You don't know what will be the inflation rates or whatever other key driving parameters. So many owners decide and say, no, if the payback period is more than 4 years, forget this proposal. Some others may accept 6 years or longer. Normally for infrastructure projects, it's much longer than the energy industry, oil and gas and power industry. Net present value. This must be positive for the project to be of a value for the owner. So we ask and insist on having this net present value, and of course the value depends on the assumptions, cash flow and the interest rates and other relevant parameters. The internal rate of return, which is the interest rate for zero NPV. When the NPV is 0, normally you will know this later on in detail. The NPV may be negative, maybe 0, maybe positive. If it is 0 or positive, the investment is okay, is good, is making profit. If it is negative, forget it. So in the case when the interest rate, when the NPV is 0, the interest rate is equal to the internal rate of return. So this is the definition of internal rate of return. The interest rate corresponding to 0 NPV. Risks and viable mitigation. For the owner, this is also very important. Risks, including market risks, competitions, escalating costs, or other relevant key risks. So these are examples of the decision criteria that the management will have to consider. Stages of financial. I think this we just a graph for what we have mentioned before. Selecting the decision criteria, collecting relevant data and cases, setting up evaluation model, making necessary estimates and forecasts, identifying and assessing risks, running what-if analysis, fine-tuning and borderline cases. And this is a new topic, very important topic, which is the time value of money. And I suggest that we take a brief 10 minutes break and come back after the break to wrap up and see if you have any discussion or questions on that. So now it's 7:17. Let's meet within 10 minutes time. Okay? Some of us may be interested to do the prayer, Aisha, inshallah. Okay, very good. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أخذنا أكثر من 10 دقائق. أعتذر. So we start again. The time value of money. This principle simply says the sooner the payment, the better the business. Most of us actually see it's very logical. If I ask you, if I give you £1 today or £1 after 1 year, definitely you'll see, no, I choose to take it now, right now. Why? Because right now, this pound can buy me something. So it has a value. After 1 year, it cannot buy this thing. It may buy something less. So it has less value. So this is simply the time value of money. Impact of time on money. Time has two impacts of money. Real value of money is reduced due to inflation or discounting. Reduction of its purchase power, as just mentioned. Today, the money can buy something that it cannot buy in 1 year's time. The same amount. The other effect with investment or depositing in a bank for trading or making a deposit in the bank, the value of money increases by the compounding effect. So the time has negative effect by discounting and positive effect by compounding or investing. The net effect on the money depends on if the discounting is more or the compounding or investing is more. There will be a net positive result or net negative result. So the amount of net gain or loss is what decides to go either way, investing or depositing in it, for example, investing, trading, or just putting the money in a bank. many people decide to go simply in a bank, even if the interest rate is 6% or 8% compared to 12, 14% on investing or trading. They say that there is no risks. There's no risks on depositing in the bank, while trading or investing has lots of risks. So that's why the people prefer to go for depositing in a bank. The higher the interest rate, say for depositing in the bank versus the discount rate, the better is the bank depositing, ignoring investment options. I mean, investment options definitely will give much more interest rates. Break-even point when the compound equals the discounting. Depositing and investing is the zero rate. When both equal each other, this is the break-even point. The lower the interest rate, the more investment we have. The lower the bank interest rate, the more chance that you decide to go on investing. Here is a simple formula that shows the effect of time on the money. If we have an amount of money A, and there is an interest or compounding rate R, then the amount will increase over a period N, period of years, according to this formula. If the rate is zero, the interest rate is zero, the amount will remain A, will not increase. And if the interest rate increases, the amount will increase. If the period increases, N increases, the amount will increase. So the future compounded amounts depending on two things, the interest rate and the period. The discounting is dividing the initial amount A by this amount 1 plus interest rate or whatever rate you apply investing or depositing to the power N, where N is the number of years. Here's an example. To invest 1,000, or actually this is $1 million at interest at 6% annual rate, the net gain after discounting is 55,000. Forget this part, we'll go back to it, come back to it. Compounding for 4 years means the amount, and this is the 6%, 4 years. This gives you 1,262,000. So the gain from compounding is the compounded amount minus base amount, and this is $262,000. Difference between the compounded amount and the base amount. Discounting, we apply the same formula, but they divide now, and the discounted amount is 792. So the discounting is the base amount minus the discounting, and it is 208,000. So the gain or compounding is 262,000, and the discounting is 208,000. So the net is the difference between this gain and this loss or discounting, which is 54,000. This is so Apparently, if this 6% increases, this amount, the net amount will increase as well. So this is a key decision is what is the interest rate? What is the bank interest rate that we are considering? So this is the amounts compounding year on year after year, it becomes this amount. Discounting year on year, it reduces. Discounting reduces. So it ends like that. And the net is the difference between the gain and the loss, which is 55. There is some rounding here on this figure, and it is 5.5%. And this is the curves. The blue curve is the compounding, and the red curve is the discounting year after year. You can actually calculate the losses after each year. Increasing rate from 6 to 9%, as we said before, that improves the compounding and reduces the discounting. So in this case, the difference is $100,000, which is 12%, compared to this model where the interest rate was 6%. So this actually shows the big drive on going to banks with the interest rates increased. In Egypt these days, on the Egyptian currency, the banks offer very high interest rate. I don't know, maybe up to 30%, which means that if you put 1 million Egyptian pound deposit, at the end of the year, you will have it 1,300,000 Egyptian pound. Okay? This is a big gain. But what is the other side of discounting? What will be the value of this thing after 1 year, which is the inflation. The inflation. I will wrap up by the word inflation. What is the inflation? Do anyone volunteer to clarify to us what is the inflation? Break time? No, I think we'll take the break time. This is an old notes. Okay. Okay. I tell you in simple terms, very simple, how to understand the inflation. If a country's economy is GDP, gross domestic production, is 1,000 pounds. And this country produces 100 kilogram of whatever, cheese, tomato, whatever. So the price of 1 kilo will be 10 pounds per kilo. The total money in the market available, 1,000, and the total goods or service available, which is 100 kilos. So the unit price will be 1,000 over 100, which is 10. The government of this company will print more money, so the GDP will appear as 2,000 pounds, and the production is still 100 kilo. So this means that the kilo price will be $20 per kilogram. Last year it was 10, and this year it is 20. So the people say the prices increase, there is inflation. What caused this inflation is printing money against no production increase. If the government printed more money, so we have 2,000 pounds, and at the same time increased the production, it was 200 kilograms, the price will remain 10. This is the problem of inflation, when the government prints more money without increasing the production of the country, without increasing the services, the products, and so on. This is the inflation. In our case, for many mechanisms, actually, the money value drops. Prices increase means the money value drops. The money you can buy now, buy less at the end of the year, and this is the inflation. In this case, don't hurry up and say I go to the bank and get 30%, because the compounded amount at the end of the year has less purchase power than at the beginning of the year, than 1 million. 1,300,000 purchase power at the end of the year is less actually powerful than at the beginning of the year with the current prices. So that is how to decide if this proposal is worth chasing or not. Now, this is the curves for 12%. This is or 9%. This is 9. Okay, it's 9%. So this is the 9% model. This is the percent model, and the curves, and so on. So apparently the blue curve increases more than the reduction in the red curve. So the compounding is more than the discounting, and the net is more than the previous model, 6% interest rate. Here, if the interest is 0, what is the formula? Yeah. If the interest is 0, the amount will remain the same. There is no increase. And the compound, the discount also is the same. And this is what this table says. Compounding, same. Discounting, same. There is no gain or no loss. This situation is the best motivation to invest in business. I mean, if putting the money in the bank makes no profit, then let's go trading, let's go investing, making things, trading things, exporting things, and so on. So the powerful economies actually fight to reduce the bank interest rate, because simply they are pushing the people to take money from the banks and put it on investment, put it on business, which is better for the economy. If all the people decide to take their money and put it in the bank, there's no investment, there's no business. The country will shrink, the banks will get larger, but the economy will shrink. So this is the best motivation to invest in business rather than bond the money in the bank, tie the money in the bank. In countries, I think like Japan, the interest rates may be 0.5%, very limited. So the people tend to go and make business, manufacture, trade things, and so on. The inflation is closely related with interest. The interest rates should generally cover more than inflation. In fact, the amount of interest earned in excess of inflation is the only real reward. we've shown before, I mean, there is gain and loss. The net is the difference between the two. That's the figures that we've shown before. Essentially, we earned nothing in this case, the real estate. Yeah. Time value of money means that money available at the present time is worth more than the same sum in future, in 1 year or 2 years from now, due to its potential earning capacity, due to inflation and others. This core principle of finance, this is the core time value, is that provided money can earn interest, any amount of money is worth more the sooner it is received. Money will be more valuable if we receive it today, not tomorrow. Today, not a year later. Time value of money is applied in financial modeling for various economic criteria: net present value, IRR, discounted cash flow, payback, blah, blah, blah. Significance of time value of money, importance. It can save company from insolvency or bankruptcy, or vice versa. If the decisions in the company, in the business, depends on the model. If the model is not accurate, it can tell you, there is net gain, while it's not. It's not really, because the assumptions and the figures in the model are not correct. So you're taking the wrong decision for the company to continue or go on this investment proposal. It can improve annual profits or vice versa, or reduce annual profits, again, depending on the assumptions made and the figures in the model, the interest rates, the inflation rates, and so on. It enables company to catch business opportunities or lose business opportunities. Again, depending on the evaluation of the opportunity, if the figures in the model are wrong or the assumptions are wrong. On the project cash flow, actually, it can improve by negotiating a high advance payment and better payment terms. Say 2 weeks better than 4 weeks, and 4 weeks is better than 6 weeks, and so on. So that actually can make a big difference in the economy, on the economics of the project, actually. It impacts company reputation positively or negatively. Actually, at the end, the people, the shareholders, expect some dividend, and if the company profit calculations are wrong, at the end of the year, the profits will be less, and shareholders will get almost nothing. So let's hold at this point. And do we have any questions at this point? Colleagues? What is the difference? Okay, well, what is the difference between inflation and escalation? It's the same. It's the same. Inflation causes escalation in the prices. It's the same. Yeah. For our purposes, it's the same. Inflation and escalation, you can use both. Okay. Any questions? Nabil Abbas entered. Nabil Abbas entered 2 hours late. But anyway, can you show us real project calculations? Yes, sure. Next, there are Excel models that we will be seeing next lecture, inshallah. They're already prepared. Just there was no time for work, but we'll share it with you, and we will go over it and how to model it and how to see the sensitivities to various parameters in that. Inshallah, next lecture, inshallah. So, do we have any questions? We still have 14 people online. I need at least one question. I said we need dialogue. We need a professional dialogue, not a monologue. I've spoken a lot. I just received one key question about difference between inflation and escalation. Any more questions? Any more clarifications? Any more suggestions for the next? Yes, this one proposal is to show the real project calculations. Yes. There are others on LinkedIn. Other what? Other people or other questions? I need a question now in this session through the chat, like the question that we received on escalation and inflation. Well, then, if there is no questions, prepare any questions for next lecture, please, and we'll join to share these questions and clarifications. For now, I thank you very much for your participation. Let us confirm that we meet next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Cairo local time. 6 p.m. Cairo local time. Until we meet then, thank you very much, my colleagues. Now I will end this session.